Of the discussion weekday evenings on the Honest Truth, the Humanity Half Hour, where we put the focus on individuals or organizations out there transforming lives. And in that regard, you're certainly welcome to share your humanity stories. You may direct them to the Honest Truth's producer, Christine Vessels. Christine can be contacted via email, christine@smile904.fm. Now, this evening, as part of the Humanity Half Hour, we're putting the spotlight on an organization. Can I call it an organization, Leon Lategan, or a movement rather, which launched a few hours ago? So literally hot off the press. Good evening.
Evening, Benito. Yeah, great. Definitely a movement. We want the youth to get behind this.
Yeah.
Well, not only the youth, but definitely a movement, not an organization. Yeah.
Definitely.
100%.
So Leon Lategan joining us in discussion this evening, the founder of Scooler, the entrepreneur movement, the purpose of which is to create and inspire an entrepreneurial spirit in our schools. Is it lacking?
Sure. That's an easy question to answer. Yeah, it's. I would say South Africa is going through what I call an unemployment plague. And part of that is because our entrepreneurship skills are seriously lacking in South Africa. There's been a recent study, a global study, where in South Africa alone, the report found that about 10% of South Africans of a working age intend to start their own business, whereas in other African countries, it's 40%.
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is definitely lacking in a country that has an extremely high unemployment rate.
And it's seen, I mean, everyone has spoken about it, including President Cyril Ramaphosa with the Yes Initiative. And there seems to be a lot of buzz and a lot of activity around the fact that entrepreneurial is a wonderful vehicle to address issues such as unemployment, such as poverty, access to market, for example. You talk about entrepreneurial skills being lacking. What sort of skills are those, Leon?
So I think the biggest, the biggest concern for me in terms of, and before we even get to the skills, is that there's a serious lack of entrepreneurship training and education in the school system. So you've got very few schools who have some kind of entrepreneur after school activity, but it's not a subject. It's not a subject like science or maths.
Yeah.
And I've met so many students recently in the last 6 months, or spoken to scholars and parents and teachers, and it's like, why am I studying geography? Why am I studying physics? Whereas we're not giving them the skills that they come out of school ready to go and start a business. And as you pointed out, our president said he wants to get entrepreneurship into our schools, and this should be a subject, but they've been saying it for 20 years, and this is my concern. So entrepreneur skills are learning how to work in a business. And the beauty about entrepreneurship skills is it covers a wide variety. So it's marketing, it's sales, it's operations, it's finance, it's distribution. It covers a whole range of different types of skills, which they are not privy to in school.
So should the education system, by way of what you've been mentioning, need to be realigned to the realities of what young people are confronting when they leave school, the challenges that they are faced with?
Sure. It's my dream. It's my absolute dream that someone says, guys, tomorrow we have a subject called entrepreneurship, and it's in schools. And just like English is compulsory, entrepreneurship is compulsory. Whether you continue that journey after school, that's up to you. But I always get asked this question, but I want to go become a doctor or a lawyer. Why must I do entrepreneurship? Well, doctors and lawyers also have their own practices.
That's right.
And they used to drive their own practices. So everybody needs entrepreneurship skills in the form of selling, marketing, operations, finance. And that's the beauty about entrepreneurship. It gives you almost this holistic view of business, not just one dedicated genre.
Sure. So you founded Scooler, the entrepreneur movement. What do you seek to achieve with the movement, Leon?
Okay, so for the last few years, I train entrepreneurs and I educate entrepreneurs. That's my other. I'm the CEO of a company called the Lion's Den, and so we help entrepreneurs and we grow their businesses. And I was going to start an entrepreneurship movement in order to try and boost entrepreneurship in South Africa. And then December 2017, last year, I started reading the matric results that were coming out, and there was all this back and forth about the matric pass rate isn't really 75%, it's actually 46%.
Yeah.
And then I started digging deep, and I started doing my research in this whole subject of entrepreneurship in schools. And what surfaced was just disturbing. That's why I say we have a plague. We really have a plague. If I can give you some stats,
yes.
In after a year after apartheid, we had our best year ever in terms of unemployment. So when I say best, how can you have a best unemployment?
The lowest figures.
Yeah, but we had about 2.4 million people unemployed in 1995, and that's a lot of people, right? But hey, it was 16.9%. Today, which most people don't realize, we have 6.08 million people unemployed. So if you had to draw this on a graph, it's just going one way, and that's up.
Yeah.
And a couple of months ago, in the first quarter of this year, we were at 5.98. And everyone was saying the prediction for next year is 6.1. Well, we're on 6.8, 6.08, and we're on the second quarter of South Africa. So I love these newspaper articles that come out and say the unemployment rate dropped from 27.2 to 26.8. And there's champagne. And I go, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you can't be celebrating that.
No, because the population's getting bigger. So even though it may be a smaller percentage, the actual number's getting bigger. And the reality of it is, if we're putting 6.08 people unemployed on the streets, exactly your point, there's crime, there's homelessness, there's disease, there's people who can't eat, there's people who can't look after their families. So forget the percentages. I wish they would stop with the percentages and start talking about the figures.
It just blurs the reality of the situation by sort of bombarding everyone with figures, because if you boil down those figures, a lot of those unemployed are the young people.
Yes.
What is that? Between the ages of 18 and say 35.
15 to 24, they call the youth.
Okay.
And we've got 3.3 million.
3.3 million.
Unemployed. Today.
What does that work out to? About 1 out of 3?
Yeah, 1 out of 3 of the youth. There's 10.8 million in the youth.
And they purportedly the future of our society.
Correct. And that's getting bigger. So I've seen the Yes Initiative. I've been to their website. I actually sent an email to them a little while back. A lot of this information came to me, and it sounds wonderful. I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know. We can never understand everything that's going on out there, because it's 1 million jobs, right? That's the initiative. But that's 1 million jobs. Now, I'm looking for 1 million entrepreneurs, because if we get an entrepreneur creates more than one job for himself. But there's such a lack of skills. I went to a school in the Parklands area just recently, and I spoke to about 90 grade 12 students, and none of them had even heard of an entrepreneurship course or anything happening out there, or no one even considered going into entrepreneurship. And when I said, raise your hand who's got a business idea, 19 hands went up. And guess what? Those guys are all leaving school going to do something else.
Yes.
So there's a great statistic in terms of, I'll just put it up there for you. It's almost a little story. If you take 100 people, right, who started school 12 years ago, 100 of our students, 48 will reach grade 12, right? 52% will drop off by the time they reach grade 12. That's 52% of our students are dropping out of school. So we've got 48 in grade 12. Of that 48, 36 will pass. Okay, so now we've got 12 who failed. They're gone. Of the 36, 14 will qualify for university. So let's put that in perspective. Of 100 people, 14 go to university. The other 22 pass grade 12. Only 50% of them are likely to get a job. So 11 don't have a job. And then we've got the rest of them, which is 74 students, where they're hanging out.
And the pressure that brings to bear on society in a whole range of issues.
Unbelievable.
It's unsustainable, though, Leon.
It is completely. But it's getting worse and worse. And I don't know what that breaking point is, because, I mean, everyone's aware. All South Africans are aware of the crime rate in South Africa, the homelessness in this area. I used to live in this area, right where we're sitting now.
Yeah.
The homelessness here has gone crazy from 5 years ago. It's unbelievable. So my question is, or my challenge is to, and I don't know, unfortunately, I don't know what's going on in the background of government and business, because I know there's this initiative and that initiative. But I can tell you on the face of it, and I deal with entrepreneurs. I mean, I've trained over trained and workshopped and consulted with over 2,500 entrepreneurs in the last 3 years. And there is no one knows where to get funding. I'm even talking about black entrepreneurs. They have no idea where to get the funding. The funding, apparently, there's billions waiting for them, but they don't know. They can't get it. They can't reach it. So all these speeches are, we want to make it accessible. In the president's speech now, the State of the Nation, we want to make funds accessible for our. How are they making it accessible? Where are they putting out a paper saying, come and apply for your 350,000 Rand grant and let's get you started?
Yeah.
So I find there's a lack of finance, a lack of will to say, and get rid of that corporate stuff. Get a private company, give them 50 billion and say, now you go and fund the entrepreneurs and really get them going. Because government, it's a machine, it turns very slow. And so I don't believe our youth are seeing this. And I did meet part of the Western Cape government, and I was given a book about this thick. I can't show it on the radio. Okay, I mean, like a high heel, 4 times the height of a woman's high heel. And this was being implemented in schools for entrepreneurship. And I was told that it's not going to actually be a subject. There's going to be a bit of entrepreneurship in the subjects they already have.
Part of life orientation.
When will this be implemented? Please tell me. Because this is not a difficult thing to start an entrepreneurship program in schools. It really, if they got the private sector behind it and said, listen, we're going to drop a subject into every single school. Every single day there's going to be an hour on entrepreneurship. Let's go. Yeah. They can do it tomorrow.
And there's so many examples, and there's a lot of examples which you've cited as well on schooler.co.za about young people as young as 8 coming up with business ideas, getting those business ideas to market. The problem is that those young people are all doing these things overseas.
Yeah.
Very few local examples of this happening.
Yes. But you see, and so that's why our purpose is to create and inspire entrepreneurship, because people say, are you born an entrepreneur or aren't you? Well, you can actually, I always say I help entrepreneurs and business owners. And people say, well, what's the difference? Well, a business owner could have inherited his business. He's not necessarily an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur takes a risk in order to make a profit. That's basically the definition of an entrepreneur. So anyone who's taken a risk to make a profit is an entrepreneur. Richard Branson is an entrepreneur. Most people think entrepreneur is a startup who's got no money and
scrounging around.
There's a lot of those, yeah.
Yeah.
But I can tell you a wonderful story. I'm actually helping an entrepreneur right now. Okay, he's a young black entrepreneur. I saw him and I said, I know you need help. So I said, all right, I'm going to take you under my wing and I'm going to put some money into you, and you don't have to put any money in. And he's a painter. Right, so he paints houses. So we spent a bit of money. We got him a website, and we got some photographs. I got people to donate some the photography time. I got a guy to do Google for him, and I put 1,000 Rand into Google, into advertise on Google for him, 1,000 Rand, and we made about 5,000 the first month for him. Second month we made 12,000, and today we're sitting on 200,000 Rands worth of quotes waiting on him to come in.
Wow.
And if the one comes in, my apologies. We're sitting on close to 500,000 Rands worth of business potentially coming to him, and I spend 3 grand for him. If the deal comes off, the lady I hope she's even listening to the show, because she said, I'm going to let you know today, because she was meeting her client. This deal is 300,000 Rand for him. Wow. And I spend 3 grand for him. So what really gets to me is you also hear these some of the government institutions like the DTI and CETAs and that.
Yeah.
And they want to give someone R1 million to go start your business. Well, take that R1 million, give 100 entrepreneurs 10 grand each, and they can start their own business.
Right.
You don't need to give one person R1 million. I've just started. I might make a guy 300,000 from spending 3,000 Rand for him.
So our approach as well seems to be slightly skewed and off there.
Yeah, very, because it's kind of like, how can we invest? So if you're aware of the Dragon's Den.
Yes.
Okay, so my company's called the Lion's Den, right? And it comes from that name in a way. So the Lion's Den, my idea was to help entrepreneurs to fund them. But not on a TV show. Not come in here, I'm going to give you R1 million. No, I don't want to give them R1 million. They don't need R1 million.
Yeah.
I have to build them a website, put them on Facebook, put them on Google, give them 10, 20 grand, and off they go, and they're making money. That's as simple as it is. But no one is funding that level of entrepreneurship. And that's the level we need, because I always make a joke with the entrepreneurs that say they don't have money. I say, how many chairs have you got around your dining room table? And they say, well, there's 8. And I go, how many in the family? And they say 4. I say, sell the other 4 chairs. Do you know what I mean? Because you just need that little bit of money for me to kickstart you. But some of them don't even have 10,000. And that's the people we should be helping.
All right. Leon Lategan, founder of Scooler, the entrepreneur movement, also CEO of the Lion's Den, joining us in conversation this evening on the Honest Truth part of the Humanity Half Hour. So how does the entrepreneur movement work, the Scooler entrepreneur movement work, Leon?
Okay, so just like any business, we obviously have to try and create some awareness, and this is what the challenge was, the 100,000 Scooler Clash.
Okay.
And that clash is, we're looking for anyone at school who has a money-making venture, hobby, or business, that they can come enter the competition for free. They enter the competition. They tell us what they do. They write there if they've got a website or a Facebook page or Instagram page, doesn't matter. They list themselves on the website. They then get their friends and family and their school colleagues to vote for their business. Yeah. And then the competition is open right now. It closes on the 29th of October.
Okay.
29th of September. 29th of September it closes. And then on the 12th of October, we announce the top 10 students who've got the most votes.
Okay.
And we also then, from those 10, the votes now become null and void. And then we have a judging panel who, from those top 10, chooses the top 5. So the winner gets 100,000. The 100,000 is made up of 50,000 Rand cash and 50,000 Rands worth of mentoring and products and services like a website and my time, because I'm a coach of entrepreneurs. And then the other top 4 each get to sit with me and go through some coaching with me. If they have the desire to want to take that little business and make something better of it. Give you an example. My goal is, if you find a really awesome business in a school, just think about whatever that could be. Could be making cupcakes, for that matter. And he has a young girl and she's making cupcakes and she makes an extra 100, 200 Rand, 300 Rand a month. And there's over 9,000 high schools in South Africa. Why can't we make cupcakes in 9,000 high schools in South Africa?
Yes.
You know, we take her little business, say, who wants to make cupcakes? She'll run a little video for you, show you how to make them. And we get one student in each school making cupcakes, and we've got 9,000 people with a job. And now we take all the business ideas. And I've got some of them that already come in. So I know some of the ideas, and I'm going, I can take that thing and put it into every single school in this country. So that how easy it is. But you need backing. You need some sort of, to get to 9,000 schools is quite a feat.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that answers your...
No, it certainly does. And which students or learners can enter the entrepreneur movement? Is it specifically aimed at the more mature
grade 8 to grade 12?
Okay, grade 8.
So we were going to go slightly higher, but then we said, listen, if a grade 8's got a lovely idea or running something great, let them come in. So they can go to the website. It is scooler.co.za, but it's Scooler with the SCOOLER.
Right.
Okay? And we've coined the word. So Scooler is an entrepreneur school. That's it. So he's a cool school. he's a cool kid at school as an entrepreneur. So that's a Scooler. That's where we came up with that name. And then they enter the competition. We announce the top 10. We then choose the top guy. He gets money. The top 4 get money. And we say thanks. And we look at the other business ideas and go, hold on, there's some nice ideas here. Maybe I want to have a chat to you. Let's talk. So the idea is so this is awareness about those people who are running something, to go, hold on, actually someone's looking at you, someone's watching you, and you can now actually put your idea out there into the marketplace. There's something bigger coming in January, so this is the precursor. This is what we call the pre-launch of something bigger.
Okay.
So this really is to get the interest out and to build a base of the people that we want to help. And those are the entrepreneurs at school.
All of that information, scooler.co.za. And this is any grade 8 to 12 across the country.
Across the country.
And interesting that you had mentioned, Leon, that the website went live. When was it? 4
About 3 hours ago.
About 3 hours ago. And just going through the website already, there were pop-ups about this student getting involved, this student getting involved. So there's a bit of traction happening there as well.
Yeah, well, by the time I left, because I obviously had to drive there were 2 in. But as I say, we only went live like 2 hours ago. So this is our marketing only really hits the the social media platforms tomorrow.
Okay, so Scooler, the entrepreneur movement, get in there. The closing date for the 100,000 Rand challenge is on the 29th of September. Make sure all of those wonderful ideas that you have, that you've been nurturing, that you've been dreaming about, now is the time to get them into the marketplace. 12th of October, the top 10 is adjudicated, following into the top 5, and who knows, you could be that one that gets the 100,000 Rand for your entrepreneurial idea, and who knows where the future may take you. Leon Lategan, founder of Scooler, the entrepreneur movement. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm Mr. M from MChem, your always open file.